Hi guys, I'm here with Amazon John, and this is a clear mind herbs that he recommends strongly for everybody. So why do you recommend it first?
Clear mind, clear your mind. And one of the keys, kind of the key ingredients I think are important to understand in this are GUAYUSA. GUAYUSA is actually related to a yerba mate, grows in Ecuador. And when I was first introduced to GUAYUSA, one of the shaman I was working with was explaining to me that the women will do it when they're nurturing their babies, when they're breastfeeding, because it made the baby smarter. And so that got my attention. My experience with it, when I was experimenting with it myself, was that it helps create first-time memories. For example, when you see something and you remember, you have a thought, a memory comes to your mind, and then later you realize that's the first time I've thought about that since the event happened. That first-time memory, so it's reaching into parts of your brain and accessing information that you didn't have normally easily available. That's important. CAMU is important. Leucine, valine, serine, all of these help adjust the mood. They're also very anti-inflammatory, and you want to create a situation in your brain that's non-inflammatory, that's scavenging free radicals. And also it helps prevent neurodegeneration or degeneration of the neurons, and it breaks down some of the amyloid plaquing that develops between the neurons in your brain. So then now again your brain is working better. Untitled or cat's claw is in this, a brain-derived neurotropic factor, which really helps angiogenesis, or the formation of new cells, so you can continue to grow instead of being degenerating and have cells dying. You have more cells regenerating and more cells actually initiating and starting in your brain. So you have a greater capacity, and with the GUAYUSA, remember, and the CAMU, you're breaking down an amyloid plaquing so you can access information deeper.
CAMU, I actually really love it just by itself, but with cat's claw and GUAYUSA. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. Okay, now what's next here? Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Such a common herb, but such a very important botanical. We know about its properties of lowering blood sugar and things like that. But it's got cinnamon malahide in it, as well as epicatechins, which are important flavonols that are also not only very anti-inflammatory, but they've also been shown to break down some of that plaquing and untangle. They call it tau tangles. These tangles that develop in the neurons, it helps dissolve those tau tangles, so the communication from cell to cell in the brain. And this is what begins when people are beginning to experience dementia and Alzheimer's, which the Center of Disease Control now says has the potential to bankrupt the whole system. And most of the drugs that start off as Alzheimer's drugs, are like 98% of them never make it through second, third phase clinical trials because they're just not effective. And the couple of percent of drugs that actually do come into the market are very marginally and short-term effective. So we're really looking for solutions beyond that to keep our brains working at top capacity. That's the intention behind Clear Mind. So the cinnamon for breaking up those tau tangles, the brain-derived neurotropic factors, and the Untitled, leucine, valine, serine, and the CAMU, and GUAYUSA to actually break through into new parts of the brain and actually recall and bring to surface first-time memories.
I didn't know that cinnamon had that kind of properties. This is like first time I'm actually hearing about it. So does it mean we could eat more cinnamon rolls? Just
when you're building a smoothie or whatever you're doing, just throw a teaspoon of cinnamon in it. Cinnamon alone is quite an extraordinary thing.
I see. Okay, now I see one of the powerful herbs from Amazon called Dragon's Blood.
Dragon's blood.
Yeah, could you tell us?
Dragon's blood, one of my favorites, Croton lecheri. It is by dry weight. It's a sap from the tree. You dry the sap, it's 90% pure proanthocyanins. Very powerful anti-inflammatory. It's a very powerful something that you can use as antiviral. It's got so many properties. One of the key things here is its anti-inflammatory properties and its antioxidant properties, kind of preserving what would normally be a degenerative organ in the brain, is helping to reverse and to protect the neuroprotective ability of the brain with sangre de drago.
I actually experienced sangre de drago on my kid when he had a really big cut on the forehead, and I actually had applied on it because I was working with you at that time, and it, like, amazingly, it didn't scar at all, and it's disappeared in like 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible?
Well, it stimulates the ability for the skin cells to heal themselves, is what's happening. It stimulates the migration of the cells that do the skin repair. And that's traditionally how it's used in the Amazon. I mean, it's the most popular use for that sap is when people are cut, they drip it into the wound, and it seals up faster. It will stop the bleeding. It heals quicker, and it heals with very little or no scarring.
I definitely saw the miracle. So check out the sangre de drago herbs from anywhere you can find it. This company is Standard Enzyme, which John is advisor of.
Yeah, I help with their formulations, especially with the Amazonian part of that. Yeah.
I just 100%, I mean, actually 1,000% trust what he is bringing to this company. So I strongly recommend checking this out, guys.